right, welcome to Crown and Connections with Monarch Roofing. I'm Rob Clemons, and I have the pleasure today of having Scott DeHollander from Window World with us. How you doing, Scott?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Good. So tell me about the home show. How's it going for you so far?
Actually, today was a good day. Yesterday was a little slow, but today I think people are getting out, so it's great.
Did you have some specials going on over there? Anything special for the home show?
The biggest thing today is a lot of folks have been interested in impact windows. So
impact windows.
That's been the big thing with everybody today. They're tired of putting up hurricane protection. Everybody's aware of hurricanes in our area, so the impact glass is really starting to pick up.
Now, how much are impact windows these days? I remember when I was in home building, they were about 3 times the cost of regular windows. Is that still about the case?
They've come down a little bit. I think what they're doing is they're perfecting the glass a little better. So the prices are coming down, but they still are an expensive window. So I look at it as peace of mind. I mean, you spend the money, then you don't have to worry about it, and you can see what's coming.
Well, no, it's true. When I was doing the hurricane presentation today with Ed Piotrowski, one of the things I was talking about is that these people who have the OSB panels in their garage, if you don't stick those things up when the storm comes through, you may not get covered by your insurance company. So you have that extra burden as a homeowner. So it is nice to know you can just, if a storm ever comes, God forbid, get in your car, drive off, don't worry about it, right?
That's it.
And we all know how it is in contracting. The minute that you need one of those contractors when a storm's coming, it's already too late.
Right. Because we're gone.
Right. Yeah, we want to kind of survive as well, right?
That's right.
Well, tell me, how long have you been in the Myrtle Beach area?
We're actually celebrating our 23rd year here in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
My wife and I are probably one of the oldest Window Worlds in the nation. We were store number 7 in the Window World chain.
Wow.
And there's over 200 stores nationwide today. So I started with the founder, started with the company as an installer, and here we are today.
You started as an installer.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's so important for people to know. And I've been talking to school kids about this for a while. You can start off as an installer in the construction industry and then be a very successful entrepreneur, business owner at one point. I mean, look, and you're proof positive of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I came out of industry. Was in automotive industry for a number of years, in the chemical industry for a number of years, but I always had a remodeling business of some sort. And then Window World came along, and I went, my wife said, "Are you crazy?" And then she was asking me, "Are you sure you're doing something legal? You're making more money now than you were as a plant manager."
I know, it's kind of weird, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
So, I mean, I encourage young people. I say, you get all the schooling you can, but truly you can make a heck of a living doing what we do.
Yeah, it still amazes me that, and I know we're in a different era, but, that, and we've talked about this so much. I think the average contractor, the average working contractor in this country is something like 47 years old now. And that's kind of scary, the young people are not getting in, and it's hard to understand why not. Why would you rather go work in a retail, not that there's anything wrong with retail, why would you rather go do retail than get into something where you can, run your own business and make your, good money?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, and it's hard work, as you know. I mean, you're out there in the weather, you're out there, you're working up a sweat, and it's just, I don't know if it's kids today or just I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I will tell you one thing, and you and I have known each other for a little while now, and we've been kind of doing these radio circuits leading up to home shows and stuff. So when you and I first really got to know of each other, I was actually doing all seasons, rooms and exteriors.
Yeah.
And so we tried to do and honestly, we got in with a sort of like a franchisor who was trying to do the Window World model, and everything was Window World this and Window World that. And I remember we got into this business, and we had some success with it, but honestly, we were never as good as Window World. You just can't beat the years of perfection and crafting.
Well, and I think that's what has happened over the years. I mean, there's window companies that have come and gone. And most of them have all been with Window World at one time. As a matter of fact, there's a couple window companies here in this show that were Window World employees in the past. One right behind us.
So what you're telling me though, but you take good comfort in that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So you probably just go to bed, Phil, and get about it.
Yeah.
right.
And the model, the Window World model, is truly a successful model. And I've even told other companies that do other things that, here's an idea of what our model is. If you follow that, you can have a successful business. I don't care if you're selling widgets
Absolutely.
or keychains or roofing. I mean, you follow that model and you can make money. And once they learn that, then they can have a successful business.
I totally agree. And sometimes I feel like, when I'm doing my sales training for sales reps at Monarch Roofing or wherever I am, I talk about the 3 questions I want to know from every customer. I'm not going to kind of spend time talking about that right now, but they're the same 3 questions that I would ask any customer buying anything, whether it's a cell phone or a chair or a roof. And
Exactly.
it's really just about making the connections and all that good stuff. And I just think Window World has found a way to more effectively deliver the end product that will make the customer happy with what they needed. So it's really powerful.
Educate that customer so they can make that decision. Don't force what you want them to buy. Just educate them so then they can make that decision as to where they want to put their money and where they want to put their quality and where they want to get their peace of mind.
One of the reasons I wanted to call this Crowning Connections is because I wanted to take successful businesses and see if we hear common denominators between each other, because you just used the word educating the consumer. And that's the second time I've heard that recently. We talk about this at Monarch, and it's so powerful because people often say, how do I sell more product? How do I be the best salesperson? And a lot of times it comes down to education. We're
That's
so
right.
busy, hey, I just want to sell you a product. It's like, no, you can't just sell a product. You have to educate, let them know why they need what they need and things like that.
And in turn, that salesperson, if they don't know their product, they walk out of the house with the tail between their legs.
Absolutely.
That customer asks you a question and you don't have an answer, you're leaving without a check in your hand.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, and certain customers more so than others, right?
Oh, yeah.
You'll occasionally run into that customer who knows a lot more than you do for some reason. And I don't mean you, but I mean some of these new salesmen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And today with social media and everything else, that customers typically have done their homework before you get to the front door.
Oh, 100%.
So they know your company before you even get there.
So I want to know something, because we talk about how hard it is to find good people. So what is the biggest challenge the new salesman at Window World is going to have? Like, if you were to say, hey, look, when I get new salesmen in, they always seem to struggle with this thing. What do you think it is?
We're not the high pressure. We're not going to spend 4 hours in that customer's home and not refuse that no for an answer. We're not that first time close company. And that's where a lot of that high pressure comes from. And we try to make that homeowner comfortable with what our product is and what our knowledge is, and then it's an easier decision for that homeowner. And that's kind of what a seasoned salesman that's used to that 4 hour sit with a homeowner, they're the ones that are hard to change over to say, listen, you're going in there, you're going to educate that homeowner, and then they're going to make that decision. You're not going to make that decision for them. And a new salesman, it's easier because you can train them the way your model is set.
100%, yeah.
But it's the seasoned ones that come in that, hey, I've been doing this for 30 years. Those are the hard ones to retrain.
Well, I was about to say, like, that technique of the 4 hour hard pressure sell, that worked in 1992.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, nowadays,
The Tin Man.
yeah, exactly. I mean, people can Google everything now, so it's like, you think you come in with a lot of knowledge and you're just going to pressure them into it. It's like, it's the opposite of what people are looking for.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit, one thing that I find great about you, and I'm going to go back, I'm going to tell a story that happened with you and I, okay? And it really inspired me about the way you see the world, but I'd love you to expand on this after I finish telling the story. So we were doing something, it's our annual Roof for Troops program. We give a roof to a former veteran or a veteran of the military in need. And so we had picked a guy that was unfortunately in a wheelchair from an accident, and a military veteran, a Marine. And I went out to see his house because we already knew we had picked him. We already knew he was going to do his roof, but I noticed he had a couple of windows that were bad in the house.
Right.
And I came to you and I said, look, we're doing this roof for this guy, and I know you've probably already done a lot this year for other people, but would you be willing to help put some windows in his house? And you it wasn't even like you had to think about it. You're just like, yeah, Rob, I'm all in. And It was just that easy. That I respected, that I saw a commonality and helping out other people. But tell me why, what you do with charity and what drives you to do that.
Well, I mean, we are a big contributor to St. Jude. And on the military side of it, through our corporate office, we are part of Veterans Airlift Command. And what that program is it's really to take care of injured vets. Our corporate office has our own plane. We got involved in this in 2008, and how we got into it was really kind of neat. The founder of Veterans Airlift Command had his own business, had his own plane. He heard about a young man that got injured. He was brought back to whatever base it is out in California, I don't remember now. But the family was in like Montana. They didn't have the funds to get to their son. He heard about it. He actually went, picked up the family, brought them to the vet hospital to see their son. I mean, the sad story about it, their son did pass away. But he found that there was a need for this, and that's when he started Veterans Airlift Command. Well, he heard that Winterworld had their own private jet and everything else, and he approached Winterworld, and at our corporate level, we jumped all over it. And each store is allowed to sponsor a mission. And the missions are, today, if that family wants to go on vacation, we can sponsor a mission to take their entire family on vacation.
It's amazing.
And they, you think about it, what we go through in an airport, basically we got to undress, to get through TSA and everything else. You get these guys that have lost limbs, and they virtually have to disassemble themselves to get through TSA. And for what they gave our country, they shouldn't have to go through all that.
100%.
And that's what Veterans Airlift is all about. They can go in the general aviation, they can drive their vehicle right up to the plane, get out of their vehicle, get on the plane, and get on with their life. So that's kind of how we got involved with it. And now we're part of Red, White, and Blue, which is another military initiative, and part of putting these boys that are coming back, offering them jobs. And when you came to me about that, again, it was no sweat.
It was
let's
an easy
do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah. And sometimes I have to convince people on things. It's like, no, this is a great guy, and this is and you were just all in, and I really respect that, and that's a great program. I mean, look, we're Monarch Roofing, we don't have a bunch of locations around the country right now, but I can tell you that's inspiring, and that's something that I think all companies should aspire to. At the home show here, we're doing our breast cancer awareness. We're trying to raise money for the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and this is one of those things that we do. So we have these bands, and every dollar we raise at the show, we're going to match it $1 and give that in. And I think if we can just continue as businesses to be leaders and doing the right thing, then hopefully everybody else will follow. That makes sense,
Right.
So you got your Coastal Carolina gear on today.
Yeah, you bet.
As you
We're
know,
in the lead. We're in the lead.
Yeah. What was the score?
28-17.
28-17.
Third quarter.
Coastal's come a long way, haven't they?
Oh, God, yeah. I tell you, we've advertised with Coastal now for about 5 years. And the stadium, just watching the stadium grow. And once they got in that Sun Belt division, the boys that are in there now are still young. We only lost 2 players. I say we.
Yeah. Well, of course.
We only lost 2 players last year, so I mean it's really an exciting time for Coastal football.
It's so cool because when I went to Coastal, it was a little bit before we had a football team. It was literally just right before we got it, and so all we had was basketball. And I remember I go to that stadium, there'd be like 13 people in the crowd.
Right.
You're trying to get excited, and it's just not quite as fun as what you see now. Just the real enthusiasm. How has the sponsorship helped you as a company?
Well, I mean, we do a lot of the families from Coastal. We did at one time, and nothing against them, but we did post or advertise with the Pelicans. But we found that the Pelicans is more tourist-driven.
Okay, yeah.
People visiting the area and that kind of thing. Where the college is hometown. I mean, it's the professors that are there, the families, the local families that have their children going to Coastal. And my daughter went to USC. To sponsor USC, that takes care of a Winterworld out in Columbia.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't take care of Winterworld locally.
Right.
So, I mean, that's where we decided that we were going to put a lot of our dollars. And we support the high schools as well.
Yeah, it's cool. I can say that as a Coastal grad, I grew up in the dorms, right? Like, so and I say I grew up in the dorms, and not literally, I was not born in the dorms, just to be clear, but
my college years.
Right. That's how it feels. But, the interesting thing is a lot of my friends, they moved because they couldn't find jobs, and here we are in Myrtle Beach, and the most powerful thing to me, and this has almost been a mission of mine since I graduated, I was like, can we get jobs in Myrtle Beach for people like young professionals that have skills? And I can proudly say, over at Monarch right now, we did a post not too long ago where we were kind of like Till Tuesday, and we're recognizing our Monarch students. And we have, I think, 6 Monarch students now that work for Monarch Roofing.
Oh, great.
And I said Coastal Carolina students that work for Monarch Roofing. So just a powerful thing, and it was just really neat to see it. And the whole way it came to me, like most things, is the genius of my employees. My employees inspire me every day. My marketing director, Danielle, she's the smartest person around, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but I really do. I get inspired by them. And the whole way it came is I walked into work one Tuesday, and one of my people's wearing a teal shirt, a coastal shirt. I said, "Oh, nice shirt." And she goes, "Well, Teal Tuesday, Rob."
Right.
Almost like what's wrong with you? It's Teal Tuesday, of course. And I said, "You know what we need to do? Let's do Teal Tuesday for a while and kind of recognize our students." So really cool thing.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you, I want to get to some more games. By the way, thank you for the tickets this week. That was very cool.
No problem. Get some of your folks to get to a game.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think is the best compliment that you or your business have ever received from a customer or just anybody?
Wow, geez, that's hard to say. I always enjoy compliments. People put reviews on Google and that for us, which is great. That's probably the best form of advertising.
Yeah.
Because again, with social media, there's so many people today that'll jump all over it. But what I like on a show like this is previous customers that will come into our booth and say, "I've had your windows." I had a guy come in today, so I've had your windows for 20 years. I haven't had a problem with them yet.
Holy cow, 20 years.
20 years.
Man.
20 years. And not to say that there's windows out there that fail for this reason or that reason, but all they have to do is call us and we take care of it. We support 100% of all of our customers.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing.
And that's the big thing. And I kid the customers that make those comments. I say, "You need to stay here in my booth for just a little while."
Right.
Just pull them in. Just pull them in.
Yeah, just like having them lead the customers in. I got you.
And with that being said, and to give you guys a shout out, you did my roof, you did my solar, and I've got pictures of at one time we had 15 of your men on my roof.
Wow. People don't believe it happens, but yeah. Well, the goal is, and it's funny because people want a quality job, but you and I both know they also don't want to have a contractor working at their house for 4, 5, 6, 7 days if they don't need to.
Right.
The less time, the better. So we have found, we want to dedicate as much as we can to. You start the day, you got an old roof, you end the day, and you got a new roof. Now, sometimes bigger houses takes a little bit longer, but that's the goal.
Sure.
It comes through efficiency of the process, which is one thing I know that you guys at Window World have done. I want to know 1 or 2 more things about you because you're a great guy, and you've been really good inspiration for myself. What inspires you? Do you have a certain role model or anybody in your life that just you feel like brought you where you are?
Well, I would almost say it was a family member. My uncle owned a business up north. We're originally from upstate New York. Had a heating and cooling business. Christmas, we'd be out doing no heat calls. He was just every day he got up, he went to work, had his business till he was in his 70s, and just got up and did it every day.
Yeah.
And that really inspired me, and I've kind of looked at that, and that's how I work. It's you get up, you go to work, and you just do it.
And solve some problems.
Yeah, and I tell all of my men, I wouldn't tell them to do anything that I wouldn't do. Now, I'm getting a little older, getting a little slower, but today, it ain't nothing for me to throw my tool bag on and go to work right next to the guys. So
absolutely, very cool, very cool. Leading by example 100%. Right. If there were anything, and I kind of like to wrap up with this, if there were anything that you would want your customers to know about you or about Window World that they might not know, what would that be?
We're here. We're going to be here. My son is a salesman with us. He'll take over the business.
Nice.
Window World's here for the long haul. We're not going anywhere.
That's a powerful message and an important message.
That's right.
Because you want to know that whoever you go to business with is going to be there for the long run. So
That's right.
Very powerful.
Right.
Scott DeHollander, Window World, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob.
This is Crowning Connections with Rob Clemons and Myra Roofing. Thank you.